Look out, it's Friday the 13th. Okay. That's enough of that nonsense. Well, I mean, that's enough of that nonsense. We have more nonsense coming for you today. Reptar is busy probably flying overseas to deal with customer service representatives from Verizon because, of course, customer service representatives do not live in the United States. So, yeah, happy Friday the 13th. Anybody have a birthday today? It's Friday the Friday the 13th. Apparently, if your birthday is on the 13th of a month, and it happens to be Friday the 13th, because occasionally it will fall on a Friday, then you are immune from the evil that befalls us on Friday the 13th. Anyway, everybody cares. It's just kind of funny. Happy pre-Valentine's Day if that's your jam. My wife and daughter will be having a Galentine's Day because I have to go out of town, take my son to a swim meet. Good morning, Mr. Gray. Good morning, Muna. Thanks for being here. And let's see. I'll tell you what. We will go straight to. I got. Won't be. Just have the Steam help desk. Yeah, exactly. Ugh. We won't have a long show today because there's just not a lot going on. We'll cover some of the stuff that is happening, and I mean maybe. Yesterday after we ended the show, we had a bunch of stuff go on. So I don't know, whatever. Do have some funnies for you to wrap up the week. But we'll start out, as always, with the bubbles, my bubbles. And I got to hit the button. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Yeah, kind of green. Little green. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this right here. We are so back, baby. Bitcoin is up 0.5%. Hallelujah. I got a lot of sleep, like good sleep, not waking up in the middle of the night, tossing and turning. I had some Chick-fil-A for breakfast. It's a good day. Reptar is, like I said, probably having to deal with Verizon customer service. His phone broke. They are supposed to be sending a new one. He may be going to pick that up right now. So, yeah. Anyway, you just get me today, which I understand is a little boring because it's kind of fun watching Reptar and I goof off back and forth. But you just get me and my just insane ramblings today. So here's your bubbles. Kite. I didn't even know what kite is. I mean, I know what a kite is. So it just moved up into the top 100. That's why it's showing so big. It did have a big move in the last 24 hours. 4 cents on 18. That's almost a 25%. Sorry, that was 6 cents on 18. So that's a 33% move. It's up just. All right, back that up. 4 cents, not 6. 4 cents. Yeah. Okay, cool. Wow. Zero showing the biggest movement down in the top 100 today. ICP still down. Ondo is barely up. I told you guys a couple of days ago, I went ahead and sold my Bored Ape just because I wanted the liquidity. And I rolled just a little bit of it into some Ondo and some XRP. I did set some limit buys if things drop like some chart analysts are predicting. If they don't, that's fine too. Let's see. Polygon, okay. Not bad. Jupe, good. Ondo's there, up a little. Near. Uniswap, yeah, let's look at the week. What does that tell you? Buy the rumor, sell the news. The peak in the last year was $12. It's currently at $3. So you're looking to back to all-time highs for Uniswaps of 4x. Yeah. All right, let's move on. I want to get through this and get to the fun stuff. I'm going to hit this first because it is interesting to me, because I have seen some information on this. CPI data, I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Came in today. CPI, core price inflation, is 2.4, so holding steady in the near 2. The odds of a rate cut in March, on March the 18th, are 92% against. But what happens if we move out? Okay, so they're not going to cut it in March. What about April? Still a 71% chance of no rate cut in April. Okay, move it out to June. What are the odds of a rate cut in June? Well, there's only a 33% chance right now. Now, granted, that's several months away, but there's only a 33% chance that we stay where we are, which means there's even a 1% chance of, look at this. Because, by the way, Jerome Powell's term ends in May. So in June, we will have a new Fed chairman. And right now, the CME group, FedWatch, is calculating a 66.6% chance of a rate cut. Now, that's me reverse mathing here. I'm not adding that up. That's nonsense. But they're even saying there's a non-zero chance that we get a 75 basis point cut. That would be interesting. All right, I did ask this question on game night Wednesday night. So if you're in our chat here, Mr. Gray Moon, I know you already know the answer to this, but if you're watching the live stream, either live or on the replay, I want to ask you a question. Why is Friday the 13th considered some type of unlucky day? We'll talk about that at length, but here, the Friday the 13th association with the Knights Templar stems from October 13th, 1307, 719 years ago. Quick math. If Ice were here, he would check me. King Philip IV of France ordered the mass arrest of the wealthy, powerful order on charges of heresy, blasphemy, and devil worship. Many were tortured and executed, with the last Grand Master Jacques de Molay allegedly cursing the king and pope from the flames. So yeah, heresy and blasphemy and devil worship. Or the King of France owed them a crap ton of money and wanted to take out another loan, and they were like, bruh, you already owe us like $4 trillion. We can't loan you any more money. And he was like, heresy, kill them all, take their money. Been a great source of treasure hunt movies for the last 50 years. Anyway, so predominant 20th century. This didn't even become a thing until the 20th century. Like, no one cared about Friday the 13th. But yeah, the poor Knights of Christ and the Temple Solomon, the Knights Templar, started out as 6 dudes, like just went to the Holy Land. Some French knights were like, you know what? They were just serving as temple guards, and then suddenly they were like, you know what? We're going to go protect pilgrims on their traveling to the Holy Land on their pilgrimage. And then, 200 years later, they are the first international bankers who invented the idea of a credit deposit slip. Anyway, interesting. There's also a superstition associating the Friday the 13th with the Last Supper, which was attended by 13 people. That's not necessarily accurate. Like the Last Supper, quick Bible history. Jesus tells his disciples right before Passover, he's like, hey, and right before the crucifixion, that like, hey, go into that town, tell the people that, hey, the master's ready for the Passover, and they'll have the upper room prepared for you already. So there's very much a likelihood that this house that was hosting Jesus and the disciples for the Last Supper, like they were all eating the Passover meal, not just the 13 disciples, or Jesus and the 12. So anyway, neither here nor there. Number 13 associated with Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Christ shortly after the Last Supper, like literally right after the Last Supper. So that's another superstition associated with the 13th. By the way, do you know what Friday the 13th, the fear of Friday the 13th, is called? Frigga triskaidekaphobia. Frigga for the Norse god for which Friday is named, and triskaidekaphobia, which is Greek for the fear of the number 13. If you want to get Latin, because for some reason Norse gods offend you, you can go with paraskevidekatriophobia. I love the fact that they use paraskevi for Friday Decatria for 13. That's Latin. Is it? No, that's Greek. Sorry, that's all Greek. That's using all Greek instead of Triska, whatever. Anyway. All right. Enough of that nonsense. Is this going to affect the markets? Yeah, probably not. So, like I said, this is from Ash Crypto. Core CPI is almost 5-year low. You don't say. Powell's wrong about the economy. No way. Guess what? Jerome Powell does exactly what the owners of the Federal Reserve tell him to do. He does not set monetary policy. He is the mouthpiece. They shove their hand up his butt and work his mouth and say this. And he says, I'm going to say this. Yeah. So core CPI 2.4%, lowest in 9 months. Meanwhile, US CPI 2.4. Core CPI dropped to 2.5, the lowest since March of 2021. See if I remember what happened to the markets in March or in 2021. Anyone remember? Should we go here and look? We're going to zoom out. Can I zoom out any further? Let me see. Yeah, I need to zoom out further. Dang it, stop it. You can't see that. All right. 2020, March 21. Here's February. This is October 2020, November. This is the Bitcoin, by the way. December, March. So here's March. There's your volume profile. So let's remember this one is March right here. Remember what happened? This is what happened. Bloop. So we topped in March. We dropped. We had our double top. And then we started the bottom. So if we go back up here, could we have another top, drop, top bear market? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. For months, Powell has said consistently, tariff inflation will pick up. Hasn't yet. He's been saying that for a year and a half. Yep. Dude doesn't have a clue, but he doesn't care. He does what he's told. That's for later. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Cool. So that's the kind of the news of the day. There will be I love the fact that like core CPI comes out regularly, and there are people on crypto like emergency Fed meeting and announcement today. They do this. They have a meeting after the inflation numbers come out every time. Emergency Fed meeting. It's not an emergency Fed meeting. It's a scheduled Fed meeting. They do it all the time. So stop. Anyway. Let's hit some other highlights. I am going to be XRP heavy today. Because look at this. In Dubai, I have landed in Abu Dhabi. I had a layover in Abu Dhabi one time. That's the only time I've been into Dubai. I would love to go visit Dubai. It looks pretty cool. But anyway, RLUSD is now recognized as accepted fiat currency. RLUSD is recognized as fiat currency. It is recognized as a dollar or a pound or a euro. Woo, let's go. Okay. How about this? The CFTC, that's a government agency, unveiled the 35 members of its newly formed Innovation Advisory Committee, committee with Ripple, Coinbase, and more. So let's see who all is in that. Boop, this is from All In Crypto and through his website. By the way, I watch Rupert on All In Crypto every day. I've already watched his morning show. He's freaking outstanding. 35 members newly formed, a body that's been tasked with advising the agency on the intersection of crypto finance and regulations in the U.S. It's replacing the Technology Advisory Committee and will help shape U.S. policy on digital assets and blockchain. All right. High-profile members, Brian Armstrong, Brad Garlinghouse, executives from Robinhood, Uniswap. Isn't that interesting? Uniswap Labs is representing this committee. BlackRock, Uniswap, you don't say. Kraken, Gemini, and others. Let's see if I can I zoom in on that? Nope, sorry. Does that zoom in for you guys too? Yeah, good. Here we go. All right, here you go. Uniswap Labs, Coinbase, Options Clearing Corporation. I'm not sure what that is. Rother Markets, Polymarket, probably heard of them. Professor Harry Crane. I wonder where he's a professor from. I have guesses, but I don't know. 16Z Crypto, A16Z Crypto. I don't know what that is. CBOE Global Markets, kind of heard of them. CME Group, yeah, we've heard of them. I don't know what the bullish company is. Yeah. Adina Friedman, the chair and CEO of NASDAQ. Is that where they race them cars in a circle? Brad Garlinghouse, president of FanDuel, CEO of Bitnomial, Depository Trust Clearing Corporation, FIA, I don't know what that is. Kalshi, heard of them. Crypto.com, Anchorage Digital, yep. Grayscale, oh, big surprise. Oh, look, here's Chainlink. CEO of Chainlink is in this committee. Let's go. ISDA Paradigm, Etherealize, Professor Carla Reyes, representative. Again, she's going to be either a tech or an economic professor somewhere. I have my guesses. DraftKings CEO, like seriously. LSEG, Kraken, Blockchain.com, Framework Ventures, Intercontinental Exchange, Robinhood CEO is there, Gemini CEO is there, Solana Labs. Okay, kind of a big deal, right? These are big names. Tell me crypto's going to zero. Tell me these tokens that are involved in this: Uniswap, XRP, Solana, Crypto.com, that's Crow token, Chainlink. Tell me those tokens are going to zero. So there's been positive movement in the space over who's going to have regulatory authority between the SEC and the CFTC. The SEC is the rightful domain of any type of ETF or investment vehicle that traditional banks and investment firms like BlackRock, like if you have an ETF where it's bundled. They bundle a bunch of cryptos together and you can buy a security product that's going to fall under the SEC. The individual assets, however, are more and more going to fall under the commodities or CFTC's jurisdiction. And they have, in the past, they have been at each other over who gets to control what. And now they have, both SEC and the CFTC have signaled that they are hoping to work together for the good of everyone, like a freaking government organization is supposed to. It's not about which organization has which power. It's about how you're using your regulatory authority to help protect the American citizen. Like, oh, well, we want to control this. Why? Because it gives us more authority. I don't care who has the authority. Make it better for me. Make it safer for me. All right. Move out of that and go back to this. Nope. I got one more. No, where is it? I thought I had another one. I guess I don't. Oh, here it is. Sorry. That's just the link. There was a. So yeah. Apparently, digital asset Canton is a new token, a new product. All in Crypto had them on a video interview yesterday. I haven't watched that yet. I don't know anything about him, but he's pretty bullish about him. So we get to some more XRP news here because you guys know I'm an XRP shill. Actually, I'm going to hit this first, and then we'll get back to XRP. Did you see this? If not, from Generation Infinity, FedEx is now on the Hedera Council. You may have heard of FedEx. We talk about the Hedera Council over and over and over and over and again. Like the biggest companies in the world are on the governing council of HBAR. Why? It sure ain't because they just want to do it for fun. It's not because their best bud is on it. It's because they want to have a say in the direction of Hedera. We can't. I can't in the next. I can't in the rest of this video give you all of the positive talk that we've had about Hedera. Reptar just dropped a short either yesterday or this morning. He clipped one of our talks about it. Guys, we have made so many videos that talk about how awesome Hedera is. Go watch them. This is just FedEx governs and operates a node on Hedera, which means they get an equal governance vote. They have validator node operation, and they have supply chain verification at scale. What does FedEx do? They transport stuff from A to B. They are a key cog in the supply chain. Cross-border compliance tracking. What do? They ship goods across borders. Now they can use HBAR as a part of their supply chain tracking around the world. So FedEx joins Dell, Google, Ubisoft, LG, Standard Bank, and all the other people that we have already talked about ad nauseum. FedEx is now in that club. You don't have enough HBAR. I don't have enough HBAR, and I have a lot of HBAR. All right. Yep. Let's do this one. BlackRock is reportedly pursuing the SEC to approve their XRP spot ETF on Monday. That is rumor from Representative Hugh Blackwell, North Carolina House of Representatives. Okay, so he's a state representative in North Carolina. I still have my doubts, but if it turns out to be true, we could be looking at a beginning of a major bullish wave. Guys, BlackRock, I know you know this. If you've been watching us for more than just today, you know this. BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. They have more assets under management than anyone else in the world. They're the biggest investment firm in the world. I like, if they are investing in crypto, crypto is going. Okay? Bottom line. Let me see if did I keep it up? Not that. I must have clicked out of it. You want to guess, now that we're in 2026, here, and Mr. Gray and Muna and anybody else that's watching the live stream, I want you to answer this in the chat. What percentage of the global population is invested in Bitcoin? At any amount. What percentage of the global population is invested in Bitcoin? You ready? 1.2%. We are still so early. Oh, puppy wolf. I got a puppy sleeping back there. Very, very good, Mr. Gray. Very good. We are still so early. The big boys are still coming in. All right. And I've done that. I'm going to move that back over here. I'm going to go back to this. Oh, that's too far. We're going to put that right there. And then from Stern Drew Crypto, one last thing about Ripple. We'll move on to some funnies, and then I will leave you to be terrorized by men in masks and their mothers. Ripple is set to become the global central bank. Have I been saying that for a year and a half? Mr. Gray, have I been saying that for a year and a half? Ripple wants to become the next central bank. The U.S. announces trade unification with the BRICS nations, the UK, Japan, and the EU. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That's what BRICS stands for. Russia, China is in there. The UK, Japan, and the EU. Is that all of the largest economies in the world? Yes, it is. Russia just announced that they are considering moving back to the US dollar as part of a wide ranging economic partnership with President Trump. Isn't that interesting? So, this is why Russian banks tested XRPL pilots with Ripple as early as 2018. The India-US trade corridor is expanding with a recent trade deal. Indian banks have already tested XRP rails, the Ledger rails. China, despite geopolitical tension, participated in the early experimentation with BRICS countries. Did you know that Ripple and the Ripple Ledger, XRP Ledger, were also working with BRICS? How dare they? They got to work with the look. These companies, they're not national companies. They're international companies. They want to work with everybody. Why? More people equals more profit. Yep. Japan, EU, and the UK. We know the UK has already partnered with XRP and Ripple. Japan remains one of Ripple's deepest strongholds. Partnerships. Japan and South Korea are like all in on Ripple, and their banks have been the Bank of Japan has been. I'm blanking on the name. Maybe it's listed in here further, but they've been talking about Ripple for 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Payments license in Singapore. The ECB, the European Central Bank, that's the EU's version of the Federal Reserve. The president of the European Central Bank previously acknowledged Ripple as a major disruptor to banking, signaling institution readiness where markets are heading. And then now Ripple has 40 regulatory approvals across all of Europe and fresh authorization in the UK. That's just in the last week or so on that one. The Ledger recently announced permission domains. Permission domains is going to be a big thing. We're going to keep an eye on that. Used by global central banks and countries, ZK credential systems, and identity-linked KYC wallets. Yes, you will have to have KYC wallets to be involved in tradition to be the bridge between traditional banks and crypto banking. Yeah, you're going to have a KYC. I can't open a bank account at my bank without providing my driver's license and my address and getting mail and all that stuff. So if you think, you can do zero knowledge transactions where you don't have to KYC, but somewhere along the line, if you want to take your crypto out and convert it to traditional money, you're going to have to KYC. And you don't have to. We'll see. But if you wanted to use crypto to buy a house, well, you can't buy a house without putting your name on the deed. So why are you worried about KYC anyway? Can't buy a car without registering the car. Why? Oh no, but I have to KYC my Bitcoin. Well, you have to KYC everything. Anyway. So yep. I don't have enough HBAR. I don't have enough XRP. I needs more. And as far as the XRP rich list, I am in the top 5%. And I don't have enough. I definitely don't have enough HBAR. All right, let's move on to some funnies, and then you guys can go watch your favorite horror movies like Hunt Her, Kill Her. Yeah. So the White House, we're unable to track $6.2 billion sent to Ukraine. California says we can't track $24 billion spent to combat homelessness. Pentagon, we can't find $2.3 trillion of military spending. The U.S. Treasury, we don't know what happened to $5 trillion of pandemic money. The IRS knows you sent $601.57 to your friend. You better report it or you're going to jail. All up in there. All up in there. $8 billion to daycares that don't exist that was then transferred to terrorist organizations in the Middle East. But my Venmo, you can track my Venmo. If you can track my Venmo, you can track all of this if you know exactly where it went. Yep. All right. Moving on to some more funnies before I get on a rant. Yep, this is us. Crypto traders are built different. It's down 5%. Okay, I like that little girl's like 20 something now, isn't she? I don't know. So true. Yeah, people have been in crypto more than 5 years. Like, if this is your first 50% drop in Bitcoin, first time, yep. This is how we do it. Sorry, I hope I don't get copyright strike there. Yes, Mr. Great, we pay taxes because if we don't, men with guns come and arrest us. But if we steal $8 billion with a fake daycare, nobody cares. All right. I'm going to leave that alone. And we're going to end with this. All right, I gotta reset this 1 second. To replace this, because I got to turn on audio. This, a shout out to Terrence Michael at Proof of Money. You need to hear this. I need to do this. Hang on 1 second. Turn this on. Gonna mute my mic.
Gins, dodo heads, tepid lemonade. Get out of it. Ratskins, dodo heads, tepid lemonade.
Hey, mate, I'll take 5 of your ratskins and one of those tepid lemonades.
It's one chicken, mate. It's not a chicken.
No, that's much better than a chicken, my friend. That is gold.
What?
Gold. The currency of the future.
Great, come back in the future. Ratskins,
No, mate, I don't think you understand. This has unlimited use.
Can I eat it?
No.
Can I wear it?
No, you...
Can I use it as firewood?
No.
It's starting to sound pretty limited, mate.
But you can melt it and then turn it into whatever you want.
Can I turn it into food?
No, you can't eat it.
Is this going to take long?
Hold on your horses, mate. We are dealing in futures here.
Oh, what's that? Is that a rock?
No, worse, it's cold.
Oh, cold. How do I get some cold?
Gold. I have people mining for it.
Oh, you have people. La-dee-da. We got a rich one here, eh? What do you pay them with?
Gold.
Next.
No, they say that this currency could be worth 1,000 ratskins, maybe even more, in just a few years.
Says who?
The people with gold.
Fuck. Next.
Look, every economy ever has been controlled by the big chicken banks.
Next.
And this is our opportunity to get out from under the big chicken boots,
Fuck me.
shake up the market, and start taking back our economic independence. Are you with me?
No.
Really? Come on, man. Look, all my mates are doing it.
I'll just get your hand off it, all right? Everyone's trying to predict the next alt rock. First it was stone, then bronze, then iron, now gold. What can I even do with this shiny shit? Make fucking jewellery out of it or something?
Yes, you can do that. Great idea, because it's malleable. And, best part of all, there's fuck all of it. It's a finite resource.
Mate, I'll tell you what a finite resource is. My fucking patience, all right? Now,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So that is at Proof of Money from Terrence Michael. Give him a like, give him a follow, give him a comment, because that's freaking hysterical. Oh gosh. I'll add 1 point to that video. Dude was right about gold. All right. Have a great weekend. Have a wonderful 14th of February. If you're celebrating it for something, have a great Valentine's Day. If not, who cares? Have a good Saturday. And, go watch a horror movie. And I got nothing for you. I got a bunch of crap to get ready for this weekend trip. And we'll see you in the funny papers. Bye, guys. Chomp, chomp.